Hey everybody, time for part 2 of 2 of The Beast from the early 70s, this short-lived solo series. Let me get going. I have a nice little surprise on the inside here. Another change in creative team. Jim Mooney is inking it, embellishing it, and it looks a lot different. But what's great is Sid Shores, Frank Giacoya, Mike Plug, they all brought something different to the table, and I love it. It's just I wish I could have done it like they do now with 6-issue segments and have a different inker in each mini series or something. But that's just a daffy dream back in 1972 when this came out. The Beast is heading towards this manufacturing, Stark Industries Missile Hunters. And he tries to square everything away with Iron Man from last issue. And his trigger-happy security guard shoots. Wounds heal almost instantly. One of his superpowers, pre-Wolverine. Now we see him taking off. I love that sky. I mean, the colors are real basic, but I love is the way, the use of line to give that impression of night. It's so weird. I don't even know if it would work in black and white, or it's the composition of the panels make it work. That's what it is. So he gets back to his place, and then his girlfriend buzzes up there, and oh my lord, if there was nothing else I could say, I'd be more suspicious in the long run if I didn't let her in. The bulk of my disguise, I left the brand just before our man's attack. No hands, no straps. In his head, when I rejected when the neck tore. So he's just building himself up, trusting himself 5 times over to, avoid any let anybody know he's a beast. Okay, pray like a fiend. And Linda, his girlfriend, comes in and she's like, "Oh, you're sick. I'll just put some medication all over your tummy." Blah blah blah. "No, I'm too contagious. You'll catch it too. Keep away." Smash. Why? That's never going to happen again. If I only had my other disguise. So somebody else rings his bell while he's away. Doot doot and doot doot doot. And I like that Englehart kept this panel silent. It's perfect. And so back at the Brand Corporation, the Beast enters, and just the craziness ensues. And I love it because it has that early Hulk feeling to it. I mean, Buzz Baxter, the military guy with the stick up his ass who married Patsy Walker, who's like the most easygoing gal in the world, somehow they got married because that's what they did in the romance comics. So he breaks on it, and it really has that early Hulk feel, which I loved. He basically is Buzz Baxter is a substitute for Glenn Talbot in this case. And I love it. You're really trying to get that old Hulk feeling going on where not everybody quite knows everything. There's a little paranoia in the air. Because, what are you doing here? Me, Captain? Why, I work here. Standing dramatically and twin light. I love that lighting. Very EC Comics. So he's being grilled. He's actually, I've been with Linda. What are you talking about, Hank? That's not true. All right, mister, that sinks it. What's this? Captain Baxter. The Beast is over here. Big old nice Kirby hand, big old Kirby figure. Perfect for like an army man, especially because he's an infantryman. So they forget about Hank McCoy for now. And it's just really neat to see Jim Mooney do something so outside of his norm. It's the Beast. At least it looks like the Beast. Love that. All those straps and everything. This is comics. It's kind of like... that's where it goes. Well, it turns out it's another gray hulking brute, but it is Quasimodo, the living computer. And I don't really remember the reason why he's there. I don't want to read the whole thing to you. All you need to know is a meet and fight. Really cool stuff here. I mean, the layouts showing a fight on a building that's not complete, that's really tricky. But Sutton, he makes the environment around him work and frame the panels so well. And that makes it work. And Quasimodo shoots some rivets at the Beast, and his arm gets hurt. My powers, where are my powers? The invulnerability, as I said before, pre-Wolverine, it's gone now. Well, the thing is, he's what am I going to do without my powers? What am I going to do indeed? And I'm kind of glad. I don't know. I think for a minute they thought it'd be great, and then they realized, well, he's going to be really hard to beat if he's bulletproof as well. There's a nice cuddly image of the Beast and the Griffin. The first appearance of the Griffin, who would go on and he'd jump around the Marvel Universe a bit, but he never made the big time. Well, first page, you got a big old beastie hanging all over you there, Patsy. And this is Frank Giacoya and Jarn. Wait a second. Frank Giacoya and Jarn Tartag, which is short for Tartaglione. I used to think like Tartag was like something used for your mouth to get the tartar out with your brush. I'll do the classic recast. He wakes up and he continues to mutate. His fur is black, or at least comic book versions of black, for many years or decades. Many decades. If like the Black Panther or some of the characters with a black costume, it would always be in deep blue with black shadows. So I guess that was to make sure you saw the muscles and everything. But the first person who really broke that was Neil Adams with Havoc and Avengers. He made like a solid black. You either saw the black or you saw everything around. But this was a different time. I actually like him darker like this. Later on, they made him like a powder blue or something. And the Angel happens to be nearby, as it is with comics. The funny thing is they're fighting. He doesn't know that Beast had changed, that Hank McCoy's old, fellow schoolmate, that he changed. He's trying to, I can't get involved to figure out which one's a bad guy. I feel pretty stupid if I help the Dangerous Menace get away. And I love that. I mean, how many times in comics has somebody actually sat back and thought about it? Usually there's a lunge into it. So, anyway. Catch up. So, okay. Let's chill out. So he puts on weird straps that help him stand upright, and he puts on the rubberoid mask and gloves, and of course Warren ties his wings behind his back, and these things won't poke out at all. But it was the time, Captain America could have a shield strapped around his back and put a shirt over it. Nobody would know. So that's comics. At the time, I kind of bought it. I kind of thought they'd maybe fold in or something. There's the Griffin. Really neat design. He was an obnoxious bad guy. He was just like a street punk. And then years later, they made him like bestial. They made him really like an animal. And it's too long to go into here. Yeah, eventually he went all feral with no real reasoning skills. Lovely cover. Although Juggernaut, I don't think you could never really have a fight with a Juggernaut. I mean, I always wondered how the old X-Men did, or the Sentinels, in fact, because they're so powerful. In the X-Men's original lineup, they had pretty modest abilities. But here comes Bob Brown, new penciler, Frank McLaughlin inker, a very underrated inker, I must say. Beautiful image there. I know a lot of people bash Bob Brown. He did Avengers, and it really didn't work for some reason. When he gets on Daredevil in like a year or two after this, it's going to be magnificent, and I'll share that with you then, because he just needed the right vehicle. In Daredevil and Black Widow, when he draws them, it's like this beautiful ballet of action and cool images. This is one of those, every Halloween they go to Rutland, Vermont, and then you have, there's Len Wein and Steve Englehart and all that, and the book is credited for Marie Severin, caricaturist. She always came about if they needed a likeness. She was the go-to gal. I love those lettering at the bottom to tell you what to buy. I mean, I don't know. I think it's charming. My first comic books I did as a kid, I did that along the bottom. I would just make up, Submariner's really into it against the Blob. or something equally. Yeah, see, that's kind of, a lot of it's very awkward, and also he's kind of done pretty awkward, but it's just not his. The fantastical stuff doesn't seem to work with him as much as something like Daredevil, which is a little more streetwise, and even including the hordes of Hydra. That's more just point and click and shoot at the bad guy or the good guy. I only showed this because this is the very last issue of Amazing Adventures, so he lasted a whole 17 issue, no, a whole 7 issues, but it's a cheat because now you got a reprint already. The last issue has a new Starlin cover, has reprints, backup features from the X-Men, the early days when they did the Origins section in the back of the original series, and it was not Ogden Whitney. It was shit. Yeah, everybody think with me. Oh, you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, this is a Starlin frontispiece, as they say. Warner Roth. Thank you. And that was basically 2 framing devices, or fades away. But Englehart kept sticking in the Beast and other X-Men in his stories, and it was really cool. I'm not going to get to that. I'm going to jump ahead because this cover was just so freaking amazing. I will let it focus. That's better. That's better, baby. Okay. I have these in floppies as well, but I just didn't feel like digging them up. Okay, and Avengers. Well, he becomes an Avenger after some time away in real Marvel, in Marvel time and in real time. Now, this is yet another Bronze Age. What do they call trope? So the first appearance of the Beast in the Avengers isn't even an appearance. It's a reprint of the short-lived Amazing Adventures 12. 12. Just like, I know the purpose to get people used to the Beast, and they can put him in the next issue. And a lot of superhero team books, if they want to put somebody new, they'll have somebody that they drew before or they created before and insinuate them. Like, remember that shitty Aztec character who was in the Grant Morrison, Howard Porter JLA? It's just kind of like that. They introduce him there. So now we get to a live Beast showing. Beautiful cover. And a spectacular way to introduce a new cover. So, what do you see? Got new Avengers. Which is funny because they have a lot of Avengers already, but not as much as they would get eventually. And this is George Tuska. I love George Tuska. He's another guy. Single character books are much stronger because you'll see when George Perez comes along, he kind of schools everybody. This young kid schools everybody on how to do a team book proper. Okay, see, Edward G. Robinson. What the hell's going on? Quick aside, they're in a stadium. They're going to hold like I don't know, what do you call practice, or what do you call American Idol auditions? No, superhero auditions. Pretty good disguise, huh? Good Lord, it's the Beast. This page here, I didn't know until I read the foreword by Steve Englehart. Jim Starlin was asked to redraw this from Steve because he wanted to establish how the Beast's, like that one face, you see everything you need to know. And then it would help like Tuska and others to kind of get a feel for what this character is. So he's not gritting his teeth all the time. So he took some time off after our series ended. And he's like, he says, I've settled with being the Beast. And I was like, hey, can I join you guys? Before anybody could answer, all these minds come blasting everybody about. But the Beast is speed and agile. He dives, he shoots, he scores, and then he manages to get the handle, trip the one switch which somehow people know it's comics. Okay, get off my back. Or here comes, I hate this guy, the Stranger. I hate him. I fucking hate him. He first appeared in Silver Surfer #5 as sort of a plot device, and it was kind of a quick together thrown together costume, because John Buscema was not really into inventing superhero costumes. He preferred doing Conan and stuff like that, although he did superheroes. And it's just because for so many years the Stranger would show up. He would just show up, and each time his motivation would be different, and it was extremely confusing. And it's just annoying. It's like, you look like friggin' who's that guy? Who's the guy with the confetti in the bucket? I can't think of his name. Oh gosh, you know what I'm talking about, the old time comedian. Yes, you do. And it turns out the Stranger gets fooled because all of a sudden Edward G. Robinson shows up again. And I dropped my thought form. You got distracted. You startled me. So somehow, I've never done this before, but Toad has transformative powers now. And also, where did the clothes come for him to get into his disguise? I don't know. I don't care. Maybe his shorts are very, very tight, full of clothes and accessories. So love that. And but whether you're the Stranger. Oh, and there was another issue of Captain America around issue 150 or so, where this other guy named Jack Carr was impersonating the Stranger, and then when he changed to his own form, it was pretty much the same, and it made no sense. Why would you want to be that guy? It was just people. They had to shit this stuff out fast, and sometimes it was good shit, sometimes it was bad. So, great story. Yellow Jackets fighting Whirlwind. So the next issue, incredible cover. Oh my god. It's Kane and Romita, and George Perez did an updated version of it for around 1999 when he and Kirk Busiek relaunched the Avengers. So, after that whole thing in the stadium, Jan got sick, he got sick, or banged around, or whatever. Here comes Captain America, the first time in a long time, because he was off being Nomad. He quit being, he got all this angst about America and his place in it and such. Woman shows up, Mystery Woman. I don't know. Hey, wait a minute. I remember her from reading Sue's Wedding. But, smartly it's kept a secret. Here is where George Perez, out of the blue, pretty much schools everybody on how you do a panel with a team of characters and how their stance should be, and how just how everything relates. And I think Jim Starlin may have done that before in some of his Captain Marvel stories with Thanos and guest starring the Avengers. But here comes Patsy Walker. Oh, my heavenly days. Patsy Baxter. She got married to that Buzz Baxter guy. That asswipe. And he's like, hey. Oh, because Pat has an announcement to make. Go ahead, Pat. Don't be shy. Just you watch me. Listen, everybody. The Beast is really Hank McCoy. So, miss, we know that already. You do? They do. I told him. Who cares? I don't have a secret ID anymore. And now you don't have anything to hold over my head anymore. Still in a moment of weakness, I did make you a promise that if it's all right with Cap, I'd like to have her come along as an observer for action. Just a minute. As I understand, you're not officially designated Avenger. No, but I hope you'll play along with me. I want to show her that superhero involves what it involves for reasons of my own. But even observation can be dangerous. Maybe, but despite her schoolgirl charm, Pat Walker's got grit. Anyway, didn't you once take a kid named Kid Jones around with you? Besides, I'll walk out for her. That's true. So that's it for this episode. But I do love Mego dolls right at the time. Action figures. I had the Captain America doll, and they put that black over Cap's A, and I always liked that look. But I know that's sort of a throwback. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. It's like my third take, so I didn't mean to take so long, but I think I've answered all your questions. If you have anything to add, please comment below. And please, if you know somebody who loves the Beast, who loves the Avengers, please share it with somebody. You won't regret it. I won't regret it, definitely. But and leave comments below if you have anything to add that I missed, or if I was wrong about something. I don't. I don't. Wait a second.